Friday. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Nick Day. Another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here on a day when the birds are singing louder, the sun is shining brighter, Tyrone's nose breathing in my ear, and all is well in the world right now because the New York Knickerbockers are now 2 games away from the NBA Finals. And last night, exactly as I predicted, wasn't competitive, wasn't close, and for those of you that are now getting on the bandwagon, welcome aboard. You're all a bunch of frauds, of course. I don't think the Knicks can make it to the NBA Finals. I don't think Jalen Brunson is a bona fide superstar. And day after day after day, the New York Knicks find a different way to win. Maybe it's a great fourth quarter from Jalen Brunson, like it was in Game 1. Maybe Mikal Bridges is the best player on the court. Maybe Josh Hart all of a sudden looks like the second coming of Steph Curry last night. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. There's always a Knick ready to answer the bell. 9 consecutive playoff wins. 8 of those 9 wins by double digits. The most dominant playoff run by any team in any year in NBA history. Good morning, Tyrone. How are you today, buddy?
Man, I'm doing terribly, other than the fact that I'm at the beach. I'm doing terribly. The Knicks are a machine right now. They're a literal machine. I have to say this out loud, and I don't want to. The Knicks have a legitimate shot of winning this whole thing.
Correct.
For a long time, my thought was, okay,
I'm looking at right now. Now it came back. Now it went out. I just need to know if we're on the air or not.
can you hear me, Craig?
See, that's how they do me. That's how things happen. When the Knicks have another dominating postseason performance, I'm not even sure if we're on the air right now. Are we on the air?
Are we on the air? Can anyone answer that?
Is Tyrone on the air? I don't know what the hell's going on here. Is there anybody downstairs?
Yes.
You got to turn your thing off now because I'm hearing that double my ear. All right, so I'm a little confused. That's what's going on right now. Now I see my monitor's back on and live. I do not see Tyrone, though, so I assume we're not connected to Tyrone. But it doesn't matter. Tyrone's here. Tyrone's not here. Ethan Kleinberg's the new co-host of this show. He's got a microphone right there. He's got a laptop, and he's livid right now. He wants to punch somebody right now. Kind of like Cleveland Cavaliers fans want to punch somebody right now. Look, the reality is this, and take my fandom out of it just for 1 second. What I'm going to say, we play a little game here from time to time called Spot the Lie. So I'm going to make a declarative statement. And you have to tell me, is there anything about that statement that you could punch a hole in or tell me that it's a lie? And the reality is this. You can include the Thunder. They're tied 1-1 right now. They play Game 3 tonight against the Spurs. You can include the San Antonio Spurs. And obviously the New York Knicks with now a commanding 2-0 lead against the Cavaliers going back to Cleveland for Games 3 and Games 4. Look, I believe in the old adage that a series doesn't start till the road team wins a game. That's fine. But what you've seen thus far from the fourth quarter to overtime in Game 1 to last night's full 4 quarters of basketball at the Garden, the Cleveland Cavaliers don't have an answer for the New York Knicks. They do a decent job here and there. They're very spotty. But the reality is that the New York Knicks happen to be the best closeout team in the NBA. The New York Knicks in the fourth quarter, when they have a lead, have figured out how to put their foot on your neck and put you out of your misery. And while the Cavs made a little mini run there and got from 18-7, and a lot of people started thinking, I'm watching online as well, oh, the New York Knicks are going to collapse just like the Cavs collapsed in game 1. Mike Brown was very smart, I thought, with his timeouts. He stopped the run. And then, of course, the Knicks made big shots and went from 7-14 very quickly. The New York Knicks do not give up fourth quarter leads that often, and they know how to close out. And that, my friends, is the sign of a champion. Let's reconnect now with Tyrone, who's down the shore at one of his many rental properties. He's got 14 of them down in Wildwood and Avalon and Margate and Ventnor and all the other well-to-do communities. And apparently was hitting the pipe this morning based on his eyeballs right now, which is all well and good. I want to know from you, Tyrone, if I look over your right shoulder, who tried to make Allen Iverson look like Josh Hart in that hand painting behind you?
That is only,
I don't have any sound from Tyrone. Can we make sure
Iverson.
Tyrone's sound is on or no?
Allen Iverson.
This is awesome.
This is only Allen Iverson.
I do not hear Tyrone at all. Now, go ahead. There you go, Tyrone. Go ahead. What do you got?
Right. That's Allen Iverson. But I'm sorry about the technical issues. This Knicks team, I can't hate on them anymore. I'm jealous of them. I'm jealous of you as a Sixers fan, as I'm representing. I am jealous because of the level of just dominance the Knicks are playing with that you just mentioned. And the other part is the defense. They didn't shoot well from 3 again, and it didn't matter. They're now a team that can beat you 100 ways. When they were shooting 95% against the Sixers, I'm thinking, okay, this is just a heater, and eventually they'll cool off. Well, they cooled off, and it doesn't make a lick of difference because they beat you in other ways. They smothered the Cavaliers. They're holding teams under 100 points in 2026. That's unheard of. This Knicks team is just awesome. Now, I can't say I'm rooting for you to win, but right now, if I'm a betting person, I'm betting the Knicks because I get the best value. And tell me when this team is going to be beaten 4 times out of 7 in a series with the way they're playing, Craig.
Well, now, from the other perspective, now the Cavs have to beat them 4 out of 6. To knock the Knicks out. Look, I think everyone's got to get it through their heads now. The New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. Like, that's done now. Now, do I think the Cavs will come to play? I do. I thought the Cavs did a good job in the first quarter. You know, that game was 5-0, 10 seconds in, right? The Cavs had a bad, embarrassing offensive turnover on their first possession. Knicks capitalized. They got a 3, they got a 2 right out of the gate, bang, up 5-0. There was a chance 30 seconds in for the Cavs to fold up 10 and go home. They didn't. They fought back. They took the lead against the Knicks. There's just not enough of them. And that's the reality. I also think Donovan Mitchell, there's something wrong with him. He seemed out of the game, mentally, facially. I know they talked about a groin injury. I know he did a good job scoring, but Donovan Mitchell did not look right to me. Someone's got to explain to me how you have Evan Mobley, who has 14 points in the first half and was their best player by far, I thought. And then the second half does not even attempt a single shot. Like, let that sink in. I know a lot of people also bet his over, which was 15.5 total points. He had 14 points at halftime, did not take another shot in the second half, and he had 2 free throws. He missed them both. So, again, I'm not sure how much of that is, just as you said, the stifling defense that the Knicks showed everybody yesterday, because they are a great defensive team, not a good defensive team. I'm not sure how much they get credit for that versus just how bad the Cavaliers were. But it don't matter to me, Tyrone. You said the most honest words you've ever said. Philadelphia is jealous of New York, and rightfully so, because New York is now the capital of the basketball world, and you got to get used to that. back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson down the shore as we get ready for Memorial Day weekend. Actually, it's underway now. No traffic at all coming into New York City today, but 4 hours to get home yesterday. So everybody, of course, was making their way down the shore from a New York perspective yesterday. Some NFL news. I thought it was interesting that the New York Giants decided to hide the fact that they extended Joe Schoen, their embattled general manager, to a multi-year extension. It seems like they were kind of embarrassed by the fact that they extended him. I know there were reports from multiple people earlier this year that he was going to be fired after the draft. Well, those people got that wrong. But here's the thing I don't quite understand. The Giants buried the announcement at the start of the Knicks game, which didn't make any sense to me. Like, if you're proud of the fact that you're extending your general manager and you want people to know, status quo here, everybody. We've got a guy that we think is great. We've a guy that does great in the draft for us, blah, 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 blah. Why would you announce that at the start of the biggest sporting event of the year in the very same city? So, congratulations to Joe Schoen. He gets to keep his job for a couple more years. I don't know if they announced how many years it is, other than saying it's a multi-year agreement for him to stay on as general manager. I did not see how many years it is. I'm imagining it's 2 or 3, nothing more than that. But why are you embarrassed by it? Like, why hide the fact that you extended your general manager by announcing it at nighttime before the Knicks game going into a holiday weekend? That didn't make sense to me, Tyrone.
Well, you know the answer to that, Craig. That means clearly I think it's clearly that while they might think internally that it's a very good move, and maybe it is, he doesn't have final say anymore, so maybe that's the position he was destined to be, where he organizes the scouts, he has the draft situation all situated, but it comes down to somebody else. But I think they're worried about fan reaction. Clearly, they think the fans would be disappointed that he's returning, so they hide it, hoping that they don't realize it.
See, and I don't think the fans give a rat's ass if Joe Schoen's here for another 2 years. I think the fans have bought into John Harbaugh being the czar of the New York Giants, and although he hasn't coached a single game for them, and they did get some more bad news today, which I'll get to in 1 second. It's just weird. It's like normally teams celebrate the fact that they sign or re-sign or extend a general manager. The New York Giants tried to hide it, and it's just a weird thing to do. It's kind of like when Steve Tisch was at the draft. They didn't announce it. They just kind of did it, hoped you wouldn't notice. Oh, look, a guy that was getting hookers from Epstein is still running our draft. Nobody's going to notice that. We'll just swing one right. We'll just get by everybody on that. And then everyone's like, wait a minute. Is that Steve Tisch at the draft? That is Steve Tisch at the draft. The Giants have become like a very strange kind of cloak and dagger type of franchise right now, and they got bad news yesterday. So while they're celebrating the fact that Joe Schoen is their GM for a couple more years, they got bad news that Malik Nabers, their star wide receiver, is not coming back for week 1.
Well, I mean, that was expected.
Or maybe ever, by the way.
Yeah, you talked about this earlier in the week, though. You mentioned, I think it was a Tuesday. Usually when you're getting another surgery, they'll try to say, oh, this is routine, blah, blah, blah. It's never routine to go in more than once. Unless they announce ahead of time, we're going to have to go in more than once because it's complicated. It's a shame because the guy looked like he could have been, on to a star level for a long time. But I don't think the Giants can bank on him ever returning. And now it kind of makes the offseason and the draft a little bit more curious because they didn't do everything they could to take care of that quarterback, knowing that this guy, his career is in peril, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. I guess he had meniscus problem. He obviously tore the ACL as well. He even said at Jump Street it was a much different injury than what people first thought. It was much more detailed surgery apparently than when they first thought, before they went in arthroscopically. And now we're finding out, of course, that he's not going to be ready week 1. The question now becomes, how bad was that knee damage? How slow is this recovery? And is Malik Nabers ever going to get his speed back? Because remember, his entire game is built on speed. And if you take the knee away from a speed guy, he's no longer a speed guy. That's a major blow to the New York Giants. So for all the talk this offseason about how the Giants are a 10-win team and an 11-win team, and all you Giants lunatics are trying to convince me they're a playoff team, and Jackson Dart actually completed a pass in a 7-on-7 drill, and you guys went, because you saw him actually throw a spiral. Your running back's an idiot. Your quarterback has spent more time getting dressed with his girlfriend than playing football, and now your best wide receiver is not going to be ready for the start of the season. Oh, and by the way, another defensive lineman went down. What's his name? Roy Robertson. He went down to a torn Achilles, so he's out for the year. So the Giants have no defensive lineman worth talking about. They have no depth at wide receiver worth talking about. Their second best running back can't add 2 + 3 and get it right. And all of a sudden, I'm saying to myself, maybe the Giants are not going to be a 10-win team this year. Maybe
let me ask,
the Eagles have nothing to worry about.
Oh, we don't have anything to worry about. But I want to ask you a New York question.
Go.
Right now on May 22nd.
The answer is the Jets. Great question.
The Giants or the Jets? You're suggesting right now.
See how well I know you? I know the question before you ask it.
You do know the question.
Who's going to have a better season, right?
Yeah, well, I want to know right now, what do you think? Obviously, we still have training camp. There's still going to be other moves. But right now, who do you think's better, the Giants or the Jets? Because the perception is Giants borderline playoffs, Jets bad, but it doesn't feel like you think that.
So here's how I'll answer that question. It's a great question. I know what Geno Smith is. Geno Smith is a bad quarterback who had a good year and a half, if I'm being totally honest with you, and was well-deserving of comeback player of the year when he wanted. I don't think he was deserving of the contract he got, but good for him. I don't begrudge a guy, even if I don't like the guy, that he got paid. Good for him, right? All good. I don't hold any resentment about him getting paid. Here's the reality, though. I do not know what Jackson Dart is. He could be better than Geno Smith. He might be worse than Geno Smith. So from that standpoint, and that standpoint alone, I'll say it, I think there is a chance that the New York Jets have a better season than the New York Giants. I think that's on the table. And we can expand upon that thought right after this.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season.
Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock.
Oh my, there's a problem.
On the outside, side by side. And he's lost control of the book. Hopes and dreams of winning here. Yes!
Get ready for round one, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
Another team that is really, really, really difficult to play against is Ecuador. And people just think, Ecuador, like, you know, how much of a budget do they have or whatnot, right? But Ecuador are good. Like, I'm telling you, like, everybody's like, I don't want to have to face Ecuador. Like, that won't be fun. Like, there are a couple of these sleepers, but ultimately to win the World Cup, it's a lot like the NCAA tournament.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson down the shore, getting ready for a well-deserved 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Just a little programming note. We're off on Monday. I think it's the first day we've taken off since Christmas, maybe, or New Year's, right?
Absolutely. Since Christmas, absolutely, it's the first day. I think we had one day off. Honestly, the show's only been off the air one day since we started in September. This will be the second day.
Ethan and I were trying to figure out. I was saying to him, I know I took Christmas week off, but you guys did shows.
We did.
And then Ethan was thinking we actually took off during a snowstorm, but I thought we worked. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah, but
I know I work every day.
Day.
You guys probably took a bunch of days off. I just forgot about it.
No, we did.
I know I work every single day. Right now.
I've taken none off. I've worked sick. You can vouch for that.
Yes, you have. Sick. Yes, you have.
Yeah, no. No, we work around here. He's a worker.
Yeah, that's how I got sick, because you work sick. I agree 100%. But it's really, I checked my contract yesterday, and in my contract, I get 5 weeks vacation. Yeah. But I haven't used any of them.
Well, what
and I don't want to be a bad guy and just start taking mad time off, but I feel like I got to start taking some time.
Well, just let us know.
I feel like
I'll be working.
I have 5 weeks vacation in my contract. I think I want to take Monday. I think I'm going to start Monday. I think I'm going to start taking Fridays off too. I think that's what we're going to have to do throughout the month of June. Take some Thursdays and Fridays off. Maybe some Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays off. Maybe some Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and occasional Fridays. Just maybe Mondays too. I may just take June off. That's what I'm starting to contemplate doing. I have the time, all right?
You do.
And I'm not a big vacation guy, but man, I got to start taking some days off. In any event, I have a question for you, Tyrone, and I don't want you to take offense to the question. That's how I have to set this question up, all right?
Oh boy.
Are people in here's a generic question for you. Are people in Philadelphia colorblind? Yes or no?
It's a resounding hell no.
Hell no. Huh.
Hell no.
Are you sure about that?
I'm 100% sure that people in Philly are not colorblind.
People in Philadelphia, most racist city in America, obviously, are not colorblind, and that's according to Tyrone Johnson, who was born and raised in the outskirts of Philadelphia, correct?
That is correct.
Do you think people in Philadelphia know that Cooper DeJean's a white guy?
Yes, they do know. They don't care.
Why did the Eagles make him a safety yesterday? There's no white safeties.
There was no white corners. There's no white corners either. There's no white corners either.
Yeah. So I saw that announcement yesterday. I guess Vic Fangio said in the Eagles' base defense this year, they're going to move Cooper DeJean to where Blankenship was for the last, 5 or 6 years, and make him their starting safety. And I'm obviously teasing. There happens to not be a lot of white guys that play cornerback nor safety in the NFL. He's kind of a throwback to the Jason Sehorns of the world. But it's interesting because I think Cooper DeJean, I know you're going to agree with this, top 5, top 10 cornerback in the NFL. And it's interesting to me that you would take a guy who's a top 10 cornerback and make him your starting safety. That's a whole different ballgame there.
Yes and no. He's top 10, but he's a slot corner most times. He rarely plays outside. He's a guy that plays in the middle of the field because he's so physical. So in Vic Fangio's defense, the safety position that he's playing and the nickel spot aren't that different. If it was Quinyon Mitchell who plays outside, very big difference. They rarely use him outside.
And do you think they replaced him with a white guy cornerback or no?
No. The cornerback position just got a lot blacker.
It got blacker.
Safety got wider.
Because didn't you guys put out shirts last year about the, what did they call him in Blankenship? It was like, they gave themselves, and like the Eagles supported it. They gave themselves a name like, it wasn't like the Great White Hope though. It was like, what the heck was it? It was like a whole marketing thing.
No, it was Exciting Whites.
Exciting Whites.
Exciting Whites. It was all because literally that name started because they were out at a liquor store looking for wine. And that's what the sign in the liquor store said was Exciting Whites when they went there to get some wine.
Oh, that's what I didn't know that.
that came from a liquor store, one of those big, big warehouse type liquor stores.
Yeah.
And up in the side it said "Exciting Whites," talking about white wines.
Right.
And they just went with it.
By the way,
they went with it.
awesome. I thought it was one of the more clever marketing things that any player or team has ever done. And that was for Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. But now Cooper DeJean's only the last white guy standing, and now he's the safety. So I guess you can't say "exciting white," right? It's got to be plural.
Yeah.
So I think the Eagles need to sign another white dude so you keep the marketing campaign going. Because I know Philadelphia, and you ain't lying, Tyrone, Philly sees color. And there's a good segment of South Philly that was like, hey, forget about it. We got the exciting whites. Racist. Carton Show. I have to be honest with you. Tyrone Johnson here as well. He's via remote down the Jersey Shore. I was really offended by something that happened last night during the Knicks domination over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if I can't share with you guys, who can I share with? You guys, like your family to me. And something happened. It was actually after the game, but it was about the game that I took great umbrage with, Tyrone. Great umbrage with. So as you know, the New York Knicks are better to their former players than any other franchise in any sport in America. The Dallas Cowboys are probably a close second, but they're second. I'm not sure how Philadelphia is with former players. I know you guys run most of your great players out of town, and those players, throw the Maloik on Philly and never want to come back. Guys like Eric Lindros and Mike Schmidt and Randall Cunningham, who have never been back to Philadelphia since you ran them out of town because you guys hate great athletes. But that's neither here nor there. In New York, we celebrate our great athletes, and they're always welcome back, especially at Madison Square Garden. No, guys that drink too much and pick fights with security guards are not welcome back until they apologize. That's right. And I love Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley's not welcome in Madison Square Garden until he owns up to his own actions. Period. Stop. And I know Oak well. And I'd love to see Oakley at the Garden. But Charles Oakley owns James Dolan and Madison Square Garden an apology. He attacked a security guard while drunk, allegedly. In any event, that's another story for another day. All right? Yesterday, after the game, you know how it goes. You've lived this world. All the local news stations are now doing their reports on Nick Fever taking over Manhattan, right? All that kind of stuff. And look at all the celebrities at the Garden. I'm going to play something for you, all right? unedited.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me if you can figure out what about this live news clip pissed me off, okay?
Okay.
That's the only setup for this. So this is after the game. I think it's CBS New York. I think it is. I think it's CBS New York. So the 11 o'clock news, much like in Philadelphia, you have channels 3, 6, and 10. This would be like Yuki Washington or Visa Kahema going on for the sports update. Hey, the Sixers won tonight. And look at all the celebrities in the crowd. That's the setup for this, okay? You tell me what about this pisses me off, okay? Let it play.
Takes it the length of the floor and lays it in. John McEnroe right there. Cedric the Entertainer is in the building. They're all loving it.
No.
Could you have found something there that might have ticked me off, Tyrone?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it ticks me off, too, because now how are you going to get John McEnroe right, a generic white man, but you get the brother wrong? That was not Cedric the Entertainer. Okay?
Let's take another look. Let's take another look, and let's see who Cedric the Entertainer really is. Play it again, guys, if you don't mind.
All right, McEnroe.
That guy right there. Is that Cedric the Entertainer, or is it choice 2, NBA Hall of Famer, former New York Knick, my dear pal, Bernard King?
I am super offended, both as a black man and an NBA fan, that you get that wrong. Where's somebody that can correct him there? That was in a script. Okay, that ran on a teleprompter. There's nobody there that knows what Cedric the Entertainer looks like and Bernard King looks like. Come on, people.
And the guy doing it happened to be black as well. The announcer that did it. The sportscaster for Channel 2 happened to be a black guy as well. And I watched that going, you could have picked one of 40 celebrities. You could have picked 15 different Knick players who were at that game. Right. You chose the one Knick player that you didn't know who it was to go with. Oh, look, Cedric the Entertainer. Like, if we're trying to, I'm sorry, if we're trying to make a point how New York Knicks playoff games bring out major stars, I'm even going to tell you, John McEnroe shouldn't be mentioned.
Also, for the record, yes, you're right. I wanted to double check it. Cedric the Entertainer's 5'6" in real life.
Bernard King is 6'6"
in real life. Yeah, he's 5 foot, a foot apart. Like they're a foot difference in height. This is not similar, okay? I recognize maybe you don't know it's Bernard King. Do you just skip it? You don't go just name a random short guy who happens to be black.
Like go from John McEnroe to, I don't know, Kylie Jenner, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Latrell Sprewell, John Starks, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, right?
Right.
I mean, there were 30 celebrities in the building last night. You picked the one guy and called him Cedric the Entertainer. That dude's an NBA Hall of Famer right there.
Show some respect.
That guy beat the Detroit Pistons in Game 7 with 3 broken fingers all by himself. And that ain't no Cedric the Entertainer. Pisses me right off.
You should. You're talking about a guy who averaged over 30 for the Knicks. He averaged like 32 points a game for the Knicks. Listen, injuries aside, he's an all-time Knick as far as his prime.
Bernard King did a couple things. Bernard King, number one, he did invent this, the baseline turnaround jump shot. Nobody in basketball had ever done that shot as part of their regular routine before Bernard King. So he created a shot that was used on every basketball court in America, okay, number one. Number two, an argument can be made that from 15 feet into the goal, there has never been a more pure scorer in NBA history than Bernard King when he was in his prime, obviously, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the one thing Bernard King has never done is tell a joke. Never got on stage at the Beacon and said, let me tell you a joke. Not once.
Never once.
I've known the man a long time. Not once did Bernard King ever put on that fedora and say, Let me tell you why I hate Cat Williams. Never happened. Never happened.
Never once. Never once. They just saw a black man with a hat and goes, that's Cedric the Entertainer. If he didn't wear the hat, they wouldn't have got it wrong. But Cedric wears a hat. That's the only thing they have in common. They're both black and they both wear a hat. And that's it. Otherwise, they're not similar at all.
Not even a little bit. So I got a kick out of it. Like, come on, man. Like, you're the sports anchor. And by the way, that wasn't like, how you doing? You're the sports anchor. And that, by the way, wasn't like the sports anchor in Chicago, who might not know, who Bernard King is or what Bernard King looks like. That's a dude who gets paid to know New York sports. And again, I know John McEnroe personally as well. John McEnroe is one of the great American players of all time, but he's not the greatest American player of all time because Pete Sampras probably is, arguably, right?
No, Pete Sampras is. Pete Sampras is.
And I was always a Jimmy Connors fan anyway over John McEnroe. And John McEnroe's wife cursed me out in an elevator one day because I said something about her husband. He married Patti Smythe, the legendary guitar player and singer. So back in the day, John McEnroe had an exhibition match at the Garden against Ivan Lendl. Ivan Lendl was a Czechoslovakian, Cold War communist kind of thing, who's a great tennis player in his own right. And there's like this battle of superpowers, just kind of like Rocky and Drago. That was that's what it meant to us as Americans. Now, Ivan Lendl became a naturalized citizen and has lived in Florida for the last 30 years of his life. All right? So I try to be fair to Ivan Lendl, okay? So they're in an exhibition match, but it's like the Cold War. And they sold out Madison Square Garden to see John McEnroe play a 3-set match against Ivan Lendl. And I go on there and I go, this is very important. I'm not even a tennis guy, but this is us basically against the USSR. This is the Cold War. This is Mr. Gorbachev take down that wall kind of stuff, right? And John McEnroe pulls out of the match in the second set, claiming he's got some kind of like hamstring injury. And I buried him the next day. You owe it to America to finish that match and to beat the communists, right? Well, his wife did not take kindly to that. So I'm on an elevator at the Garden going to a Knicks game, and John McEnroe and his wife, Patti Smythe, get on the elevator. And she looks at me and she goes, why don't you go F yourself, you effing a-hole? He was hurt, and a man should never be forced to play hurt, even for his country. Yikes. back to the Craig Carton Show. Leave it to Philadelphia to screw July 4th up. Ugh.
What are you
Can't
talking
trust
about?
these people as far as you can
It's
throw
the 250th anniversary.
Philadelphia announced the nation's largest free concert celebrating America's 250th anniversary. The One
Love it.
Philly Unity Concert for America. Philly's the least united town I've ever met in my life, and the most dangerous town in the country as well. Yeah,
You act like you
guys
haven't-
are the murder
you've heard
capital
of-
of the world right now.
No, we're not.
In any event,
Okay,
let me
no,
tell
we're
you,
not.
You are. You guys are worse than East St. Louis, and you're worse than Camden.
No.
Congratulations. You're the #1 murder capital in the United States of America right now.
Not true.
So be
Not
careful, by the way, whatever you do this weekend. Pardon me a second. I was vomiting all day yesterday, but I'm a trooper that, I work. That's why I'm here. But here's what they did. You walked me through how this is a good or awesome or top of the line concert to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Are you ready?
Free concert.
They're
free
having a concert.
Put that in there.
All right.
Free.
There's 1.5 people or groups that I've interested in seeing at this free concert where many people are going to be mugged and stabbed. All right.
No one's
and
getting
the
mugged or
over-under on
stabbed.
shootings is 2.5, by the way.
0.
For the concert on July 4th.
Under.
Number 1, it's being hosted by Wanda Sykes.
Yes. Comedian from Philadelphia. She's from
I used to
Philadelphia.
like Wanda Sykes. Could someone tell me the last time Wanda Sykes said something funny?
Wanda Sykes has written on hit shows since then. She had moved to more of a different role.
She used
She'll
to
do a
write for
great
Cedric
job.
the Entertainer. Yeah. Yeah. Bernard King.
No, that was she wrote it for Bernard. Yeah, she wrote for Bernard.
All right, so
Yeah.
bad hosts. Start with that. Now let's go to the
Nope.
first act. First act to
Yeah.
take the stage July 4th is going to be Kathy Sledge.
Yeah, from Sister Sledge.
Now, I know where she's from. Kathy Sledge? I guess
That's
the
right.
sisters are dead? So
I
Kathy's going to go out there going, I am family. I got none of my sisters with me. Philadelphia, let me hear you.
terrible.
I
That's
am
terrible.
no. All right. Happy birthday,
Wow, wow.
America. Okay,
Poor
after
Kathy, for you to
after
do that.
Kathy Sledge takes the stage,
Uh-huh.
they go right to Will Smith.
Yes. And
Will
DJ Jazzy
Smith?
Jeff.
Why? So he'll
Philly's
be
own.
cuckolded by his wife in public again?
No,
Huh?
you might slap Chris Rock again. And let's not forget the first rap Grammy ever, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Now,
Let's not
I
forget
like DJ Jazzy
Summertime.
Jeff. I think he's a great DJ. But
He is.
could you be
He's a
less
tremendous
relevant
DJ.
today? For America's
not less relevant.
250th? We're
You see
going
Will Smith for
Sister
free.
Sledge and Will Smith?
Yes. You don't like Summertime? You don't like the song Summertime?
I do, but how about something new? How about something
Well, you
relevant?
gotta-
How about something
Nah,
that's
it's
not
relevant.
25 years old? I don't know.
Listen, it's a free concert. People complain about free.
After Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff perform Parents Just Don't Understand, because that really resonates with today's kids, we get to hear Seal and his pockmarked face sing Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah. Now, someone told me Kiss from a Rose is about cocaine.
Is that right?
So someone told me about. That's what I was told.
All right,
Apparently,
so then
when my
Seal
eyes
takes the
become
stage
wide,
and sings
and
5
all that.
songs nobody ever heard of. After
You've
he
heard of
takes the
Seal.
stage, Jill Scott takes the stage. Now, I like Jill Scott.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
I like Jill Scott. And she's a Philly girl,
Another
I think, if
Philly
I'm not
artist.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she
like I
is.
said, Jill Scott's got 0 hits, but I like Jill Scott.
She has
Okay.
Long Walk.
Okay. After Jill Scott takes the stage, the Roots take the stage. The Roots, to me, are the greatest studio band maybe alive today. But you can't name a single song they do. So that's the
talking about?
Roots, okay?
That's
And then
not
they
true.
finally end it
Bring
with
it-
somebody I would pay to go see, and that is my Boricua queen, Christina Aguilera. Now I'm down with that. I love me some Christina Aguilera. She's one of the 5 greatest singers of all time. So I like Christina Aguilera, and she's going to salvage the celebration of America's 50th. But what a lousy job the organizers of what's it called again? The One Philly Unity Concert for America on Ben Frank Parkway on July 4th have done in accruing the best possible talent. It's a little embarrassing.
It shouldn't be embarrassing. It's a tremendous concert. The people out there are not agreeing with you.
I'm surprised they bring back Hall & Oates like they do every year. Every single year it's Hall & Oates. But Hall & Oates hate each other.
Wawa brings out Hall & Oates. Wawa brings out Hall & Oates.
It's always Hall &
Not
Oates.
Philly.
But Hall hates Oates and Oates hates Hall.
Listen, they do. They can't bring them out right now. But we know, if we're going to be honest, the Philadelphia sound is superior to the New York sound. And this shows it. We got our D-list person, all right, is a Grammy and Oscar winner in Will Smith. And he's like the fourth billing on that great show.
If you think that's a great concert, I expect to see you there front row and enjoying it and sending video back to us, letting us know how amazing it was to hear Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff sing a song about going out to Bel Air. Yeah, because that's what I want to hear as we celebrate July 4th. It's just another example of Philadelphia getting it wrong. And I just got to Philly gal,
right.
So I like that. I know the roots are from Philly.
The roots are from Philly.
I like
Will Smith's
that.
from Philly.
Wanda Sykes isn't funny anymore,
She's
so I don't
from
care
Philly
for that.
as well.
The Sledges are from Pittsburgh, so that doesn't make sense to me either. Christina Aguilera hates Philadelphia, and she's not from there. Like, why not get Pink? Pink's from Philly.
No, you don't get Pink because Pink is annoying. And she's busy. But separate from that,
That's right. Pink is busy. You found five acts that aren't busy. That's exactly the point.
Christina Aguilera just came back from Paris doing shows in Paris.
You think when they called Kathy Sledge, she was like, "Let me check my schedule"?
Yes, she tours heavily. This ridicule is ridiculous, okay? This ridicule is ridiculous. These are great acts. It's going to be a great concert.
You think Willie Stargell shows up so we can celebrate the song from '79?
Willie Stargell, is he still with us?
That's what made the song popular. We Are Family was the theme song for the 1979 Pirates. That's what made the song famous. Yeah, Dave Parker,
Willie Stargell died in
Pop
2001.
Stargell,
Willie
Joey
Stargell's not with
Jablonski
us.
third. By the way, can you name the starting lineup of the 79 Pirates?
I can't because I wasn't alive.
I can. It was leading off, playing first, Dennis Eckersley. You had Pop Stargell playing second, batting second. And you had Roberto Clemente in right, batting third.
Roberto Clemente was passed away by me.
Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. Before we get you to your holiday weekend, couple things just to get to you real quick. Number one, the Portland Trail Blazers have requested to meet with Jeff Van Gundy for their open head coaching job. To me, that's a boring pick. It's I guess a safe pick, but it's also an interesting pick considering everything I've read out of Portland lately is that the owner's a bad guy and is cutting back on all costs, firing people left and right, and Jeff Van Gundy is going to cost $8 million a year, right, to become the new head coach. And while Jeff Van Gundy was a good coach here in New York and was a good broadcaster doing all those national games, if I'm a Trailblazer fan, does Jeff Van Gundy make me moist? He doesn't for me.
Well, here's the problem, though. He's not going to take it. He's not going to get offered $8 million. The last time he was a head coach was 2007. My guess is Portland thinks I can get him cheap because he barely wants to be a head coach.
Well, based on the way that owner's acted thus far, you might be right about that. But Jeff Van Gundy's not taking a job for $2 million a year. That's not happening. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of money they offer him if they do it all. Number two, Floyd Mayweather. It was apparently on Tough Financial Times. Did the old, rookie mistake. He knocked up a stripper at a Las Vegas strip club. And apparently she had the baby. And apparently he has not paid her any child support that he agreed to pay her. So she went to court and she won. And he now owes her $1 million in past child support, and moving forward has to pay her, I think it was $33,000 a month until the kid's 18 years old. He don't have the money. But that's a rookie mistake. Like, say what you want about him being a deadbeat dad and all that, and that's sad for the kid involved here, obviously. And I think she should go get a job as well to support her child as well. But that is the most classic rookie mistake of all time. When a stripper whispers in your ear, you're different than all the other guys. You're so different. Like, yeah, I would actually sleep with you. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, that's right. And you take her home and you have sex with her. And you get her pregnant. She got you.
Can't do that.
Unfortunately for her, when you did knock her up, you were worth $500 million, and she was guaranteed a nice life. Now that you've lost all your money, she's just another single mom working the pole to put food on the table.
No. Apparently Floyd is behind because he didn't acknowledge paternity at first.
He's behind because he's broke.
She was in them streets. Yeah.
No,
he really did think that. And here's the other part. He's fighting Manny Pacquiao in September. That's not going to be his last fight. We're unfortunately going to see Floyd Mayweather get his brains knocked in the rest of his life as he tries to make money because he's broke, like you said.
I heard a rumor that he's trying to dig up the body of Muhammad Ali and fight him because he needs the money so badly. And Ali's favored 3-1. That's just something I heard.
Oh my God.
Ethan told me that, which I think is disrespectful. May Muhammad Ali rest in peace, Ethan. You're a bad guy. Story number 3. It's now official. Chicago is no longer considered a legitimate Major League sports town, as they have now officially lost the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears will be building a new stadium across the border. So as a result of that, the Chicago Bears a couple years from now will be playing their football in Indiana. Now, to be fair, the site where they're building the new stadium, although it's in a different state, is as close to where the Chicago Bears have played for the last 100 years as MetLife Stadium is to New York City. So we've seen this before, but I don't care who you are. In the modern era, if you lose on an NFL team, you cannot consider yourself a Major League sports town. So Kansas City, losers. Chicago, losers. And it's embarrassing that the Kansas City Chiefs will not be in Kansas City anymore. And now officially, according to the Bears ownership, the Chicago Bears will never again play professional football in the city of Chicago. Now, they're still going to be called the Chicago Bears, obviously, much like the New York Giants and the New York Jets are still called the New York Giants and the New York Jets. but it was embarrassing when it happened to us 40 years ago, and it's embarrassing now that it's happening to Chicago. I don't know who to blame. I'm not sure if it's that weak-ass mayor's fault. I don't know if it's the Bears' fault. I don't know whose fault it is, but I know it's an embarrassment to the great city of Chicago that they couldn't hang on to an NFL franchise.
No, it absolutely is, and I feel bad for those fans because they're in the. But at least Chicago fans won't have to pay the bill for the new stadium. They'll pass that on to Indiana.
It was this close to Philadelphia losing all their teams to Camden, New Jersey. You barely hung on to professional sports status, and then you threw that out the window when the Knicks took over your building. Have a great holiday weekend. Thank you for watching, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.